Yeah, boss of YouTube, SixftHax here. Have for y'all today the semifinals match of GBA Season 9, where your Durham Dragons are taking on LARS and the Borussia Donphans. Of course, if you guys are excited for this, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below, because if we are able to win this battle, then we are going to be able to make it to the finals and hopefully win another championship. So on your screen, there's going to be two timestamps. One to where I get into talking about the actual team preview here, and the second one getting into when the battle actually starts, because nobody has patience. But the main reason why this is going to be post commentated is because like 5 minutes before I was about to play LARS, I sat down, gen my team, took out my SD card, noticed some weird little pop-up come up on my PC. I ignored it, not thinking it was anything. Then I go to put it in my SD card onto my 3DS, and lo and behold, my SD card crashed, or it got corrupted, or something happened to it, and I was basically forced to reformat it. For those of you who don't know what that means, is that you basically erase everything on your SD card. So I lost my custom firmware, I lost all my 3DS files. Huge thank you to my boy Aaron2420. He was able to help me, and I have custom firmware back, so I'll be able to hopefully do the finals battle live if we do get to the finals. But right now this is going to be post commentated because, yeah, it was basically something out of my control, and I still feel kind of bad for making LARS wait. I think he played this match at like 1 or 2 a.m. his time, and I know how annoying it is to have to play that late. So again, really sorry to him, and I'm really sorry to you guys that this is going to be post commentated. But if we can win, I will definitely do the finals live. But first, let's try and get through this game here. So looking at the team preview here, I was really surprised to see that he ended up bringing the Karen Black. It could just be an ICM Z set to instantly nuke something on our squad, so I have to be very careful with that. I was not surprised though to see no Mandibuzz or Tangrowth, and Heliolisk and Salazzle were kind of up in the air on whether or not they would be brought. But no Landorus is really good for me. Landorus game 1 did nothing, but it could have been a bit of a nuisance if I lost Cresselia. But now he does have the Kieran Black, which I do assume is going to be ICMZ going into this game. Now I did upload a team builder, if you guys didn't see it, explaining why I brought what I brought and what I kind of expected LARS to bring to this matchup. Essentially my game plan is to hopefully get up my hazards, wear his team down, and try to win with priority from Marshadow and my Comfy. So looking at the threats that LARS has, obviously Mega Lucario is an absolute beast, so I really don't want to let that just freely set up. I don't know if he would try to run the same strategy that he had in game number 1, where he had Memento and Healing Wish into Belly Drum Azumarill. Speaking of Azumarill, it's going to be very difficult to try and switch into that if he is able to correctly predict me. Aerodactyl is a nuisance just because it is guaranteed to outspeed the entirety of my team, and I have no Scarfer, so I need to be very, very careful around that. And then Jirachi, I have no idea what kind of set it could be running in this battle. But I figured that going into this game, it would probably be in my best interest to just go ahead and try to get up my rocks turn 1. Mainly for the fact that I don't think he's going to end up leading off with Kyurem or his Azumarill, in which case I can probably live one hit from anything and then hopefully get up my rocks turn 1, unless he's potentially something like a Psyshock Jirachi or a Taunt lead Aerodactyl. Now, even though he did lead off with the Aerodactyl, I really felt like he wasn't going to be carrying the Taunt, because Aerodactyl really did want to run a lot of offensive moves in this game. So I make a bit of a risky play, go straight for the rocks, as he ends up going directly for the Ice Fang. Turns out that he is not Life Formed, Expert Belted, or Banded because of the damage that he did to me, and there was no way he actually would have been able to knock me out in one hit unless he was Banded, which I don't think Banded Aerodactyl made a lot of sense in this game regardless. So I end up getting off a good amount of damage with the Ice Fang, and then thinking he's gonna go for Ice Fang again, I switch into my Ferrothorn here, which realistically this was a kind of dumb play on my end. Like, I should have just sacked off Nidoking here, because I could have taken out this Aerodactyl. As it turns out that he has the Fire Blast, and now my main answer to Azumarill has just been absolutely mollywopped. So yeah, this is kind of bad because I don't want to lose Ferrothorn this early on in the battle. If anything, I can leave it for a sack, I suppose. So I guess I was able to get up Alaris Spikes and my rocks, but this Aerodactyl, as you're about to see, is going to just end up putting in way too much work against me this early part of the game here. And for some reason, I didn't go for the Moonlight here. I think I was just really worried that he could either freeze me with the Ice Fang or he could burn me with Fire Blast, and I didn't want either of those to happen, so I figured I might as well just knock this out. If I can get rid of it, that's good for my Marshadow and my Darkrai in the back. As in comes the Jirachi. I don't want this to potentially be a Ghost Weakening Berry, so I figured that because I have Shadow Ball on my Cresselia, I can go ahead, pop the berry, that way later in the match when I bring in my Marshadow, I don't have to worry about it potentially being able to live a Shadow Sneak or a Spectral Thief, as he turns out to be Calm Mind. This is not entirely too bad because I can still save my Cresselia for later in this game, and this is where me kind of keeping Nidoking is going to help me out, because I can switch it in here as a sack fodder, and then bring in my Marshadow. And because I am Choice Banded, I know he's not Scarfed, I basically just get to click Choice Banded Spectral Thief and claim my kill. I have Rocks up, I have only one layer of Spikes up, but still that is a lot of damage on whatever is coming in on top of a Technician boosted stab Choice Banded Spectral Thief, as Kofurgigas just gets murdered. Man, this thing went down, and we are now up 5-4, which is amazing. However, though, Azumarill after Hazards is still able to live a hit. If he brings in the Kieran Black, it's also still able to live a hit from me. So I can't realistically stay in here. I don't want to lose my Marshadow this early on in the battle, because he did bring in Azumarill because I have Ferrothorn in the back. I might as well bring it in, because after I get off the Iron Barb's damage, I actually do put him in range of where a Banded Spectral Thief is able to knock him out. And honestly, when I brought in my Marshadow here, I thought that I had made a really big misplay, because if he is more of a physically defensive Azumarill set, he can actually live a Spectral Thief and then just obliterate me with a Play Rough. Thankfully, though, it turns out that he's not, as he goes for the Aqua Jet, and I'm able to get another KO with a Marshadow, which is amazing. As in comes the Kieran Black. After Rocks and Spikes, he is still outside of range of where I can knock him out with a Choice Banded Spectral Thief. So realistically, there's no reason for me to leave in Marshadow here. What I can do is bring in Cresselia, sack it off, and then either bring in my Darkrai or my Comfey, and then go from there. But he ends up going for the Shadow Claw, which I thought it was going to Icium Zemi, which I thought would just knock out Cresselia in one hit, but no, he Shadow Claws, and I live on 1 HP as he activates my Iapapa Berry, and this is huge because now there is no way he knocks me out at this range of HP, which means I can safely go for a Moonlight, be brought back up to full HP to still be able to deal with the Kieran Black once it comes back in later, and then I can also potentially try to weaken the Lucario for Shadow Sneak or Draining Kiss from Marshadow and Comfey respectively. So as in comes Jirachi, I'm really positive he has nothing to hit my Darkrai on a switch in here. Plus, as you see, him going for Calm Mind was a pretty decent play on his end, because then he would have been able to get off a huge hit on my Cresselia. But by making this aggressive switch in here, I put him in a scenario of where if he's not Colbur Berry, I basically just get a kill with my Darkrai, and he's not Colbur Berry, as down goes the Jirachi. In comes the Mega Lucario. Much like I reiterated in my team builder, I am not by any means going to let this Lucario ever set up for free, so I don't mind losing my Darkrai here. I am Wise Glasses with Incinerate, so I will be able to do a huge chunk of damage to him, guaranteeing him in range of where I can revenge kill him with my priority, as he actually tries to go for the substitute, probably thinking that I would switch out, not wanting to lose my Darkrai, I guess. But again, there's no real reason I had to switch out Darkrai in this scenario because of what I still have left in the back, and I'm able to get rid of the Mega Lucario. And at this point, his last Pokemon is going to be the Choice Scarfed Kieran Black. If for some reason he's not able to knock out my Darkrai, I do believe a Dark Pulse will be able to finish him off. But even if he does knock me out, I can bring in Comfey to Draining Kiss, or I can bring in Marshadow to Shadow Sneak, and either way we are going to end up winning this match here. So a bit of a premature ending here, but yeah, there's not really much else to say besides the fact that my priority was able to come in handy. I'm not gonna lie though, like after the early game, after Aerodactyl had weakened my Nidoking Ferrothorn and Cresselia so much. I really thought I was just going to end up losing this battle, but once I brought in Marshadow, I realized that he effectively does not have any good switch-ins to this, and whatever he does end up bringing in against my Marshadow, because I do still have all three of my weakened mons in the back, I can just kind of sack them off and then go from there. So yeah, a good game into LARS there. I do kind of want to say this was a bit of a washout, like Marshadow just came in, clicked buttons, but he did kind of have me there early on in the first few turns. But hey, Marshadow's a beast. We are going to the finals of GBA Season 9 to either face my good friend Jolt or my other good friend Randy. So good luck to them. Check out their battle, guys. Should be going up on the same day that this is. And with that being said, next week will definitely be live commentated. I promise you. I got custom firmware back. We should be good to go. And yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. Leave a like, leave a comment. I'll see you all next week. Thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.